Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mooney and today we're going to talk some DIY. But before we begin, let's go ahead and if you're new here, please subscribe, like the video, check out the rest of my playlist and stuff. Yeah, all of the usual stuff. Please comment. All that stuff really means a lot. I'm really trying to build my channel up. I just hit 25 subscribers, so I want to send a quick shout out to Aiden from Little Bro Vapes. He was my number 25. Thank you, sir, so very much. Nice to have somebody in your position showing a little help for someone in mine. Alright, so today we're going to talk steeping. Steeping is when you mix up your juices and let them sit off to the side to reach their maximum potential. First rule of steeping: if it tastes good, vape it. These are only guidelines. These are pretty much kind of the accepted, as well as my own personal experience with them. Lengths that they should be steeped. That said, however, if it tastes good to you, then go ahead and vape it if you want to. You know, again, personal tastes. Don't taste like no lime I ever ate, right? So, yeah, okay, so let's get started. Steeping 101. A very important rule for it is steeping won't fix a bad mix. That's not to say that if it tastes bad when you first mix it, after it steeps for a while it won't taste good. That means that if you've got way too much of something in it, steeping it's not going to correct that. Okay, so steeping makes a big difference with creams and some of the other ones. Not so much with the fruits. In fact, it can actually hurt some of the lighter fruits, especially strawberries. But let's go ahead and get started. Our first category is creams. I have divided creams into two different subcategories. We're going to start with the heavy creams. Heavy creams would be custards, Bavarian cream, Vienna cream, creme brulee. Yeah, I'm going to be reading most of this because I want to get the information out exactly right. It's not exactly my best speeching or speechifying or whatever you want to call it, my best presentation, because I've got to read this information. But, so kind of bear with me, but there's a lot of good information here, alright? For those of you that follow me on Facebook, I will actually make a post of this and put it on my Facebook page, so you can actually get it from there. But please watch to the end of the video, guys. That sort of thing helps me out too. Alright, so heavy creams like custards, Bavarian cream, Vienna cream, creme brulee, things like that. Recommended steep time on those is 3 weeks. Really and truly 3 weeks is minimum, and they just get better as they steep. Light creams, say whipped cream, marshmallow, meringue, you're going to use a lot of those. Well, in the recipes on ELR and probably ATF, but I don't use ATF. A lot of other people do, so in the beginning you'll probably use a lot of marshmallows and meringues. Those really need about 2 weeks. So heavy creams 3 weeks, light creams 2 weeks. Sodas and teas are our next category. Those take about 2 weeks to really reach their potential. The naturally extracted teas, Sticks Mix, there's really good ones. So shout out to Ty Edwards over there. Really good stuff on that one. Sodas and teas take about 2 weeks. You got to remember with sodas though, it's always going to taste like a flat soda. You can use the champagne and a couple of other things to give it somewhat of a carbonated feel, but for the most part, it's all going to be flats. So our next category is pastries. This is things like pie crust, graham cracker, fried doughs, like donuts, that sort of thing. Those need 2 weeks also. They do better a little bit longer, especially if they're darker like a pie crust. But 2 weeks is pretty much a good starting point for it. All right, so our next category is coffees. Coffees are also divided up into two subcategories, dark coffees and light coffees. So your dark coffees are like espressos, chock full of nuts, that sort of thing. There's a couple of others. Those really need about 3 weeks. I'm not super fond of coffees. I want a coffee vape that's a good one, but a lot of it comes off tasting like burnt popcorn to me, so I don't really get the coffee vapes myself. But I do recommend about 3 weeks to get most of that burnt taste out of them and to bring up their full potential. Light coffees like cappuccino and lattes, now those are about 2 weeks. So our next category is tobaccos, woody flavors, and alcohol flavors. Your darker alcohol flavors. So like a dark rum, a whiskey, cigar, pipe tobacco, and then of course your wood flavoring additives to add that smoky, the oak, there's a couple of other ones. Those really need about 3 weeks. Lighter alcohol is about a week. Light alcohol is about 7 days, but the dark ones, like the dark rum, like the Jamaican style rum, and the tobaccos, those are about 3 weeks. Light tobaccos, like an ROI4, is about 2, but most of like your cigar, pipe tobaccos is going to be 3. Our next category is vanillas and chocolate. They share a lot of the same flavor notes. So they take about 3 weeks on them. I've said it before in other videos, I'm not really a chocolate fan when it comes to vapes. I'm one of those people who taste that rubber Band-Aid kind of taste to the chocolate, so I don't really mess with those very much. So give your vanillas, give your chocolates 3 weeks. The vanilla that you want it that long so it takes down that pepper note from the vanilla bean kind of thing. In the chocolate, you will lose some of that alcohol flavor, some of that rubber flavor. Just not enough of it for me. Our next category is cereals and nuts. Like pistachios, walnuts, pecans, that sort of thing. Cereals being your granola, your Fruity Pebbles, that sort of thing, the Honey Nut Cheerios, the Rice Krispies. Those are best at about 10 days. One of the most popular cereals is TFA's Fruit Circles. I'm not super fond of it because there's too much lemon in it. But if you don't give that one at least 10 days or longer, it's straight up lemon pledge for me, at least. I know some people really like it, but for me it's lemon pledge until at least 2 weeks into it. And our last category is fruits. Fruits are also divided up into two subcategories, lights and darks. So a light fruit like an apple or a strawberry, a lot of people say you can shake and vape them, and if they taste good to you, you can. I personally prefer to give them about 3 days. These are things that unless you layer in 2 or 3 or 4 flavorings on, they fade really quickly at about a month. So a lot of times if I'm making something that has strawberries and cream in it, I'll mix up everything but the strawberries, let it steep for 2 weeks, and then I'll put the strawberry in it and let it steep for another week. But you also have dark fruits. Now dark fruits take just a little bit longer. Things like blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, the red raspberry. The blue raspberry would technically fall under light fruits, at least to me. But the dark fruits take about 7 days. So you're looking at about 3 days for a light fruit, about a week for a dark fruit. So that's the way that I split up mine on it. That's basic steeping 101, recommended by experienced mixers. This also goes along with my personal experience on it. So but as always, again, taste is subjective. Your mileage may vary. These are just my basic, steeping 101, how I split it up, how I do it. So I really want to thank you guys for watching. Really thank you guys for getting me to 25 subscribers. Nowhere to go from here but up, right? So make sure that you like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff. Take a few minutes to look through the links that I'm going to put in the description. As always, there's advocacy links. There's my personal page, or my personal PayPal if you want to help the channel out. My fiance has a Vinted account that's listed down below as well. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for sticking around. Check out the links, and as always, guys, y'all have a good one and stay safe.